I just got a question, man. So I was with one of my brothers, mentor figure, and um, he was really adamant that if I want something done, I have to repeatedly pray for it. And I'm like, I just thought you can just ask God once and then wait, and then it'll be done. But then he rebutted with, knocking you shall find, or knocking it'll be open to you, seek you shall find, asking it'll be given, or ask you'll answer. I think that's how
Hmm.
the verse went. I'm like, yeah, I mean that's just a one time thing. But he's like, no, you need to study it. You need to look a bit deeper. You need to continually do that. But then it's like, well, once you receive, like it's yours. Not right now. It's like once you receive, it's yours. So it's like, what do you mean constantly ask? It's like, and I get it. Daniel repeatedly asked, but the answer was already given to him. The angel just got held up. So it's like, why do we have that mentality that we have to continually ask God over and over again in order to receive an answer?
Okay, now you've probably heard me tell this story before, and I'm going to disagree with you and agree with your friend. So if I
Okay.
say seek and you shall find, everyone's going to, if I ask 10 people, I might get 12 different responses. Knock, I might get 13 different responses. So let's just look at the text and look at it in context. So we know the story in Luke 11, and he says there's a man who has a friend that's come in town, and he says, suppose one of you has a friend that comes in town and goes to him at midnight and says to him, friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine has come to me from a journey, and I have nothing to set before him. And from inside he answers, get away from me, don't bother me, kick rocks, I'm asleep. The door has already been shut, and my children and I are in bed. I cannot get up and give you anything. I tell you, even though he will not get up and give him anything because he's his friend, but because of his persistence, he will get up and give him as much as he needs. So I say, ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. So the context is keep
Mm.
on doing it. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. And the story that I shared was this. My daughter Morgan, she would always come and ask all the time for something. When we going, baby, why do you keep asking every day? What are we going to eat? Are we going to eat? Are we asking us as if we forgot to buy food and to feed this girl? And so I asked her, I said, sweetheart, how old are you? How old are you? This was 2004, 3 or 4. So she was 8, 9. And I said, well, how old are you? She said 8, 9. I forgot how old she told me. I think she was 8. And I said, well, so how many years have we been feeding you? 8 years. Have we ever missed feeding you? No, sir. So you've eaten 8 times. I mean, 8 years straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Yes, sir. Now I don't know how many days that is, but 300 times 8 is what, 2,400. So at least 2,500 days times 3. What's that? 75,000, 7,500 times you've eaten, and we haven't missed one time. Why do you keep asking me to do this? I don't know. I just want to make sure. Okay. Now, I said, Morgan, I don't even mind you asking. Keep asking. If ever you want to have something or ask something, keep asking. Because it dawned on me. It dawned on me. The reason why she's asking me um, says a whole lot. Because you know who she could be asking? She could ask my neighbor. She can call up our parents at the time my mother and father were alive. She can ask them. She could ask my wife's mother. You call up my wife's mother, or you call up my mother, especially if you call up my mother. If she called up Granny and asked Granny for some food, my mother is going to call me and think, first of all, she's going to think I'm a horrible parent. Why aren't you feeding this baby? Get in that kitchen and cook that baby some food, right? But she's asking me why. Because she trusts me. She looks to me
Mm.
as her source. So constantly asking God does not reflect a lack of faith. It's the opposite. It reflects faith. You constantly go to, if she went somewhere else, that would be bothersome to me. Why are you going to that person? Even if she only went to that person one time. But she keeps coming to me because I'm the source. You got a refrigerator, don't you, Jordan?
Yeah. So my question
Well,
now
hold on,
is
because
like,
I'm doggone it, Jordan. I'm on a roll here. You got a refrigerator, right?
I got a fridge.
When you hungry, don't you go to it?
Yep, that or the freezer or the
Because
deep
you
freezer.
know that's where the source, that's where the stuff is. So constantly going back to the source says something about the source, not about the person's faith, lack of faith. It says they have faith in the source, in the thing that you keep going to. So that's why you should be persistent. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Even if you haven't got an answer, keep doing it. Just like Daniel, he kept praying, right? So
Yeah.
keep doing it. 21 days he sought the Lord, and then he finally gets an answer. So keep doing it.
See, the about that was like, it's like, he says, like, seek first the kingdom, and then these things shall be added unto you. And then he also mentions, like, in the parable of the prodigal son, like, when the older son was rebuked, it was like the father was like, all that I have is yours. It's like you could have asked and it would
Mm-hmm.
have been given to you. So it's like, I guess I adopted that mindset. Like, well, I mean, if I'm in the father's house, I can just ask and then, it'll be given. It's not like I'm trying to earn anything. It ain't like I need to, how do you say? It ain't like I have to like reach a certain point where it's like, all right, he's counting how many times I asked, and then it's like, all right, let me answer him now. You feel me? Because
Mm-hmm.
just from my time walking with the Lord, it's like, I done asked, and then it's like, all right, I'm not gonna bother you again. I'm not gonna keep bringing this up. You heard me. If I ask according to your will, it's done. Um, like I was dealing with the spiritual warfare stuff. After every prayer, I would hit blasphemy. After every prayer, and I dealt with that for like I feel like 3 years. So it's like, all right, but then it got to a point. I'm like, hey, I told you, you heard me, and I'm just gonna wait for it to be taken care of. And you know, I went to him a couple more times after that, but it was more so like, how long are you gonna let your name get blasphemed?
Mm-hmm.
Type stuff. Not in like a deliver me thing. It's more so like a why should the demons be able to do this type of stuff? Like when Moses was telling them, like, why should the nations say you a bad guy? You done brought them out just for them to die type stuff. So I guess, just given what I've experienced and based on those, it's like, since I'm in the house, you my father, yeah, well, more than a friend, like you more than a friend, you my father now. So it's like, you know, I don't really have to.
So let me ask you a question. Let me give you a good example. Almost like the conversation that we were having before. How close of a relationship does Jesus have with God, with the Father?
He is God.
So you have a
Don't
pretty
get
close
no.
relationship, right? Pretty close relationship then, right?
Yeah,
How often did Jesus pray to the Father?
every
Once?
day.
All the time? Exactly. And he never had the attitude or the thought that, I don't want to bother. No. So talk with him. First of all, you want to talk to him anyway because, heck, that's God. And he already knows what you want. So if Jesus is a good pattern of prayer, well, then do that. Jesus prayed, and there were times where Jesus prayed and asked for things. And sometimes he didn't pray for just once. He prayed for us. He prayed for the disciples. He prayed for this world. He prayed for. So guess what? It's okay to pray multiple times to the same source because that's the source that we go to. And sometimes you got to remind yourself that's the source. So keep praying.